So in this video, I want to walk you through how to develop a social media strategy for your business or your brand step by step. Now, this comes in absolutely handy for every single type of business. Every business is on social media, or rather should be on social media. But in order for you to reap the benefits of social media, you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a strategy. Otherwise, you're going to be running around in circles and chasing your tail for a very long time. Now, developing a social media strategy isn't actually that easy. So that is why in this video, I'm going to be walking you through the steps that you need to be successful on social media. Whether you plan to grow your brand, sell a product, sell an offer, coaching packages, whatever your goal is, you're going to find this video incredibly valuable. Now, who am I? I'm Pam Obasa, the founder of The Lucrative Lady, and I'm incredibly excited to have you here. If it's your first time here, thank you for joining me. If you are returning, welcome back. I want to say a massive thank you, and if you haven't already subscribed, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and also turn on your bell. We publish 3 times a week, and if you turn on your bell, you'll be the first one to catch all of the content. So before we begin, let me break it down. What is social media marketing? Social media marketing essentially is using the social media channels that we have available, such as Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, even Clubhouse, etc., TikTok, Instagram, etc., to grow your business and sell your offer or your product. That is what social media marketing is. As well as selling your products, you can increase brand awareness, build amazing communities, and just really grow your business. So social media is incredibly powerful. But what is a social media marketing strategy? Well, your strategy should really be within a document that outlines all of your goals and everything that you hope to achieve and how you're going to do it. So I'm talking about your tactics, the steps that your business is going to take. Now, a lot of businesses do outsource their social media marketing to marketing agencies, and these agencies will build out a social media marketing strategy for your business. But I think that it really pays to have ownership of your own business and to understand what that strategy is so that you can begin to implement it and see results. And then, of course, if you choose to outsource it, then that's completely fine. So within your strategy, you want to make sure that you have all of your existing channels and anything that you plan to create, along with specific goals for each platform that your business is on. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. Every single platform should have its own goal and its own strategy. So in order for you to be successful on LinkedIn should have its own strategy. TikTok has its own strategy. Instagram has its own strategy. Every single platform is very different from each other. So if you're going to be on multiple platforms, then you've got to create a strategy that is a multi-channel strategy so that you are able to see success on all of those platforms. One more thing before we jump in, a really good social media strategy should also outline who is doing what in your business and also how will you be measuring the results. And I'm going to be talking about that a little bit further in this video. But these are some of the things that you want to make sure that you have in your plan for your social media strategy in order for it to be incredibly effective, so that you're not hooked to creating posts and wondering why only 2 people are clicking, etc. So I want to share 7 steps for how to create a social media marketing plan. You're going to need a notepad and a pen to take a whole bunch of notes. You might have to pause this or come back to it and listen to it over and over and over again, but I'm going to be giving you the goods right now. Let's dive into step number 1. So number 1 is to set some key goals, right? That is the first step in achieving anything that you want, especially on social media. You've got to have a goal, and you've got to have a goal for each platform that your business is on. So if you are on Instagram, what is your goal for Instagram? If you're on Facebook, what is your goal for Facebook? If you're on LinkedIn, what is your goal for LinkedIn? As well as any other platform that your business is on, you've got to set goals for these, and you've got to make them absolutely specific. Now, when it comes to goal setting for social media, I love to use the SMART acronym. So each of your goals should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. This is the most effective way to set a goal. So here is one of the goals that you might have. Let's use at Facebook, for example. So you might say, we will use Facebook groups to grow a community of 10,000 strong of our ideal clients in less than 6 months. So can you see how that goal is really clear? I talked about the platform, and in fact, I even went ahead and talked about the micro platform, i.e. not just Facebook, but Facebook groups. I also mentioned how many people we want inside of the group and in what specific time frame I am looking to achieve that. So that is a really clear goal. So you can set that goal for any specific platform that you want. So for example, you could say we're going to use Instagram DMs to cut down the customer service in our business to less than 2 hours. So which means that you're going to be asking your customers to DM you if they need anything, if they're stuck, etc. And you're going to have perhaps yourself or a team member such as a VA who is going to be responding to their DMs in a very timely fashion. So these are specific goals that you can have in your business. So one of the things that a lot of people focus on when it comes to social media are vanity metrics. You know, people are wanting to track how many followers they have on Instagram, how many people are in, how many friends they have on Facebook, how many subscribers they have on YouTube, and all of these things are good, but vanity metrics won't help you to sell your products, right? They do help in some sort of way if they are real, but the problem with these metrics is that a lot of them aren't real, right? Followers can be bought on Instagram, for example, so a lot of them aren't real. There are so many other things that you ought to track instead when it comes to your social media marketing. My favorite thing to track are conversions. So when we create sales system, for example, I make sure that we have a unique link for each platform. So I make sure that we have a unique link for Facebook, a unique link for Instagram, a unique link for YouTube, etc. Now, what does this help us do? It helps us to be able to look in our analytics, and I can see how many people purchased a specific product from Instagram or from LinkedIn or from Facebook, etc. And you know, when you have that type of information, it helps you to govern your marketing for the next month or the next quarter, because if you know that this specific platform is doing the most of the heavy lifting for you in your business, what are you going to do? You're going to focus on that specific platform, right? So metrics are important, but vanity metrics won't help you. The specific metrics you ought to look for are things like click-through rates and conversions from those specific platforms. That's how you really make social media marketing work for you. So you may want to track different things depending on the different platforms. So for example, if you're using Instagram to drive brand awareness, you might want to be tracking how many people are viewing your Instagram stories, right? If you're using LinkedIn to drive traffic to your website, you might want to be tracking the click-through rate on LinkedIn, etc. So this is what I mean by, if you are going to be on multiple platforms, you've got to understand that each platform needs to have its own goal and it's got to be trackable. So that leads me to number 2. And number 2 is to really understand your ideal client avatar, their persona. And in fact, I created a workbook that really drives home how to create your ideal client avatar so that all of your marketing is geared towards that type of person. I'm going to be linking it below this video. So why is this important? It's so important to understand who your ideal client is and what they are looking for, right? What are their problems? What are the key things that keep them up at night? What are their struggles? What are their daily frustrations? These are the very key things that you've got to understand about your audience even before you create your product, create your offer, even before you write a single social media post. You've got to really understand these things about your audience. When you do this, you're able to create content so much more easily because you understand them. So you know the things that they like, the things that they are likely to share, the things that they are likely to click on, the links that they are likely to be interested in, and the products that they are most likely to buy. So the fastest way to actually get that conversion is by truly understanding your audience. So what are some of the key things you need to understand about them? So their problems, their frustrations, all of the things that keep them up at night, plus their age, their gender, their location, their average income, and And all of these things, like I mentioned, will be in that workbook for you. So these are some of the things that you want to understand about your ideal clients. So it's really important to understand that your ideal clients, they are real people. They have real problems, real wants, real needs. So you've got to really get to know them, because this is the clear difference in having your content be spammy and, you know, being unwanted, to actually really connecting with people at the heart level, in which case they buy into you, and once they've bought into you, they will continue to buy from you over and over and over and over again. But that requires some investment on your part in terms of actually doing the work. So there are other ways to find out this information as well. It doesn't have to be all from your head. So a lot of social media analytics will actually give you this information. So for example, on Instagram and even on YouTube and even on Facebook, actually, you can see analytics such as the age of people who watch your videos, the time zones that they are in, what countries they are from. This is very important because it informs your marketing, right? Once you know where they are from, you can understand and you can make a decision as to where your market is coming from and therefore where to advertise. So for example, I can see, looking at my analytics from YouTube, for example, that 57% of my audience in the last 28 days have actually been all women. The other 42% have been men. I can also see that the age in the last 28 days have been between 18 to 34. And I can also see that my top countries in the last 28 days have been the United Kingdom and the United States. Now, the analytics that you can see right now, it changes often, right? So sometimes I log into my YouTube account and it changes. Sometimes it's 100% women. Sometimes the age is a little bit different. It changes sometimes, but it pays to understand who these people are. But it doesn't change so drastically that it's unrecognizable. Like all of a sudden I have 100% men. No, that never happens. Mostly it's 100% women, you know, on most days. And my market are women. My market is women of a certain age. And so that is roughly what I get. And so my messaging is tailored towards those people. And so my analytics shows that I am attracting the right type of people for my business. The third thing you want to do when it comes to your social media marketing strategy is you've got to understand who your competition is. Now, I don't even like to use the word competition. I prefer to think about it as who else is serving your audience. You've got to understand, who are they going to, right? Who are the other influencers, other gurus, other coaches, other people in your industry who have a level of authority or expertise similar to yours. Now, it's not a competition thing. I don't believe that there is such thing as competition in that way, because the world is a big place. It's truly big enough for us all. But there are people who are doing the same thing as you, and you've got to identify who they are for several reasons. One, you've got to understand what is the glue that is pulling people to them. Right? Why are people going to them? What is it that they have? And two, you've got to understand what is it that sets you apart, right? How are you going to be different, and why should people come to you? These are the key things, the key questions that you've got to really ask yourself when it comes to creating an effective social media marketing strategy. So when you understand who your competition is and what they are doing well, it gives you an understanding of what your market expects of you. So it sort of gives you that benchmark. So you know, okay, well, this is what they are used to. So therefore, whatever you put out there, it's got to be better. It's got to be greater. It's got to be different. It's got to top what already exists. Another thing that it does is that it helps you to spot the opportunities, like where are the gaps in the market. So perhaps you can see that a lot of the people in your industry are really dominant on a specific platform. Perhaps they're really dominant on Instagram. You would, of course, go to Instagram, but then you might think, well, actually, perhaps there's an opportunity for you to dominate on Facebook, for you to dominate on YouTube, for example. Or you might find that a lot of your competitors are dominating using a podcast as their vehicle, or using blog posts as their vehicle, and you might choose to do the same information, but you are going to change your vehicle to video, for example, right? So it gives you the opportunity to see where the gaps are and where the opportunities lie so that you can dominate them. So use everything that you discover to inform your own social media marketing. Number 4, and this is one thing that my clients do all the time. And in fact, the moment they start the program, it's the first thing that they do, and that is to audit their social media. So you've got to audit your social media and do a social media audit. So if you're already using social media, you've got to look at where you are right now. There are some key questions that you've got to ask yourself, such as what is working right now and what is not working. What type of people are engaging with your content? What is your best performing social media platform? How does your social media presence compare with your competitors? These are some of the questions that I want you to be asking yourself because it really helps to do an audit so that you know you're not blindsided. You're not, this isn't some pipe dream that you're building. No, it is going to be an effective social media strategy. So you've got to really ask yourself these tough questions and take what you can from them in order to build up. So your audit should give you a clear picture of what is working and what isn't working, and a clear picture of each of your platforms. So if you are on several different platforms, you've got to repeat this audit across all of these platforms. So once you have the key information, it'll help you to improve the way that you or your business uses social media moving forward. So once you've done your audit, you've got to ask yourself some further questions. Is it working? And is it worth me remaining on this platform? So if you find that Instagram isn't working for you, you can make a decision of, do I continue to use Instagram and use it in a different way, or do I just move to Facebook that is working better and almost consolidate my effort and put my eggs in that one basket that is working? So these are some of the things some of the tough questions that you've got to decide. A lot of people want to be on all platforms, but it doesn't make sense for you to be on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Clubhouse, on TikTok, and every other platform under the sun. It doesn't make any sense for you to be on all of those platforms if it's not working for you. You are much better off being on one or two platforms that is being used effectively, and you can measure the results from those specific platforms. Number 5, now we are getting into the practicalities of it, and that is to optimize your profile. This is so important. Did you know that the majority of businesses that have a social media presence, their profile isn't actually optimized? Now, what does optimization mean? The simplest way that I like to describe it is to roll out the red carpet, to make sure that when your ideal clients find you, that they are completely impressed and they are, head over heels in love with your stuff, because you have put everything in place. You have dotted every I, crossed every T, and you have made sure that whatever it is that they found you for, what they are looking for, that they find it very, very easily, and most importantly, that your messaging is clear. So you've got to make sure that you truly optimize your profiles. Every single social media profile needs to be optimized. Now, Facebook is one of my favorite platforms, and I actually created an in-depth tutorial for how to optimize your Facebook profile. So if you want to check that out, make sure you do. The link will be below this video, and I'll be putting into the cards for this video so that you go ahead and do that. But whatever platform that you're on, you've got to make sure that it's truly optimized for sales. This is the key here. So here is a tip that I learned that I really love, and that is that for each of your platforms that you have your business on, that you write out a one-line sentence, a mission statement for what you hope to achieve from that platform. So for example, on Instagram, you might say, we will use Instagram to increase brand awareness and grow our YouTube channel. So if that is your mission statement, then on Instagram, on your Instagram stories, if you have the swipe up feature, for example, when people swipe up, they would then land on YouTube. So can you see how you can use one platform to grow the next platform? So go ahead and create a mission statement for each of your platforms so that you know what your goals are, exactly how you are going to be using them. So one of the tips when it comes to really optimizing your profile is to make sure that you complete every field that the platform requires you to complete. A lot of people skip this, like don't skip any part of it. Complete every single part of it. Number 2, include keywords that your ideal clients will use. Try to use hashtags in your profile if you can. And another thing, make sure that when you are using images on your profile, make sure that you are using high quality images, because this lends to your brand as well. So don't be overwhelmed by these steps. Remember, it is better to use fewer social media channels and be fully optimized, and you have a goal and a mission statement for each platform, than it is to be on all these platforms and none of them are actually effective for your business. Number 6 is to create a social media content calendar. Now, this is something that has absolutely changed my business and my clients. Create a social media marketing content calendar. This is so important for your business because it really helps helps you to stay on track. You've got to put your content in one space, because although sharing content is essential, it becomes very overwhelming to figure out what type of content to post, when to post it, when did you post the last content, etc. But if you have a plan for all of these things, it becomes very, very easy to track what your content is doing, how and when did you post, and when is the next post due, and you can even be ahead of the game. Now, on that note, I created an amazing social media marketing calendar for my clients, actually, that I've decided to share with my audience over here. So I'm going to be linking that below this video so that you can get hold of that too. So inside of your social media content calendar, you want to make sure that you list out all of the platforms that you are on and all the different types of content that you will be producing for each different type of platform. You also want to put on it the days that you will be posting, the times that you'll be posting, and whose responsibility it is to create the content, to produce and edit and all of these things, and of course to publish the content. These are the things that you want to have on this one document that is going to be shared between you and your team. So make sure that your content calendar, that it really fits with the mission statement that you wrote for each platform, so that every piece of content that you published really works together to build your business, to generate the sales and increase your revenue. So here is an example of one of the ways that you might want to structure your content. So you might decide that 50% of your content will be geared towards lead generation. As we know, growing leads for your business and generating leads is the lifeblood. So 50% will be around generating leads. Then you might decide that 25% might be around brand awareness, and you might use a video specifically for your brand awareness and your company culture. Then you might decide that another 25% might be about curated content, etc. So you've just got to have a vision for your business across your platforms and really figure out how to do that. And by taking these steps, you're going to be able to experience the beauty that comes with really running a business that runs by itself, because you have a fabulously effective social media marketing strategy. If you're starting from scratch and you're not quite sure what to do, then use this rule. It's called the 80-20 rule. You've probably heard about it. It's the Pareto principle. Now, the 80-20 rule can work in all sorts of, in all areas of your life and your business. But in this instance, the 80-20 rule is this: 80% of your content will educate, entertain and engage your audience, whilst 20% of your content will be led or geared towards marketing and sales in terms of generating income. So that 80-20 rule should guide your content in terms of what type of content you produce and how you publish and what platforms you publish and what you're actually saying and what the call to action is. You could also try another strategy which I use as well, which works equally well, and that is called the rule of thirds. That means that 1/3 of your content promotes your business, generates profits, generates leads. The second third of your content shares ideas from other thought leaders and experts in your industry, whilst the final third of your content is all about personal interaction and storytelling and all of these things for brand awareness. So that works equally well as well when it comes to deciding what type of content to put out for your audience. But a pro tip for you guys is to make sure that you have some sort of scheduling tool that really helps you so that you are ahead, right? One of the worst things about creating content is the feeling like you're on that hamster wheel and you're constantly going and going and going and you're never stopping. So make sure that you have a scheduling tool so that you are always ahead. And that leads me to number 7. Number 7 is to use storytelling in all that you do. One of the biggest things that has really helped my business is the stories. I share stories all the time on social media via video, via posts. Sometimes they're really short, 2 sentences. Sometimes they are long form stories. But stories have really allowed my audience to see into my heart and into my business and into my life, and it has allowed them to buy into me. And you know, the rule of storytelling is that once people have bought into you, they will buy from you over and over and over again. So this means that a lot of my content is really geared at connecting with people in a unique way, and storytelling happens to be the best way to do that. I'm going to be linking out some resources on storytelling right under this video for you as well. And that leads me to a bonus tip that I want to share with you, and that is that all of your social media marketing effort, it needs to be linked to your sales system. That's right, it needs to be linked to your sales system, because that is truly what what is going to grow your business. So a lot of people spend a lot of time building the brand awareness, building the followers and all of these things, but they are broke. I have met people with hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram, hundreds of thousands of YouTube subscribers, but they have no money in the bank. Their business doesn't actually exist. Now, it's one thing to be an influencer if that's what you want to be, but if you are watching this to build a social media marketing strategy for your business, you've got to understand that everything needs to be geared towards getting people into your sales system. That's right. So even when you are doing content for just brand awareness, etc., it needs to be with the intention that when people are aware of your brand, they will go into your sales system, they will opt in for something, they will purchase a product, etc. So make sure that you are driving people there and that your call to action is really directed towards your sales system. Now, if you're wondering how to implement a sales system into your business so that you can triple, 10x your revenue, etc., I'll be linking out a link below this video so that you can schedule a call with my team so that we can help you and really help you to build your sales system. The link will be below this video. Thank you so much for watching. This video is actually part of a series where I walk you through exactly how to build a dangerously effective revenue generating sales system. So make sure you check out this playlist that walks you through everything that has to do with building an effective sales system. Comment below and let me know what was your biggest takeaway from the video. I hope to have a conversation with you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. See you there.